The sun rose over the African savanna, painting the sky with warm colors. The village of Ndebele came to life as people emerged from their round huts, greeting the new day with joy. Ndebele was a special place, nestled between rolling hills and a winding river. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, respecting the land and its creatures. Every morning they gave thanks to the earth. The elders taught the young about balance, showing them how to take only what was needed. The children learned to listen to the wind in the grass and watch the animals, learning their ways. Life in Ndebele was simple but rich, yet the village faced challenges. Droughts came more often now, and the harvests were not as good as before. The elders worried about the future, knowing they needed new wisdom to help their people thrive. This is where our story truly begins. Kofi and Nia were the best of friends. They were both 12 years old. Kofi was tall and lean with bright, curious eyes. Nia was shorter with a quick smile and clever hands. They loved to explore the world around them.
Every day, Kofi and Nia would venture beyond the village. They climbed trees to spot distant animals and raced each other through fields of tall grass. Their laughter echoed across the savanna. The other children called them the twin spirits.
Kofi was good at solving puzzles. He could find hidden paths in the bush. Nia was brave and strong. She could climb the highest baobab tree. Together, they made a great team, dreaming of having big adventures.
One evening, they overheard the elders talking. The village needed help. Kofi and Nia looked at each other, knowing what they had to do. They would find a way to help their people. A new adventure was about to begin.
Early the next morning, Kofi and Nia snuck out of the village. They headed to the old baobab tree, where Badu the tortoise lived. Badu was very old and very wise, knowing many secrets of the savanna. The children found Badu sunning on a rock. His shell was ancient and cracked, but his eyes sparkled with wisdom.
"Ah, young ones," he said, "what brings you here so early?" Kofi and Nia told him about the village's troubles. Badu nodded slowly and began to tell them a tale. Far beyond the hills, he said, there grows a magical fruit. It gives great wisdom to those who eat it, but it is guarded by the mighty Leopard King. The children listened with wide eyes. Only the brave and pure of heart can reach it, Badu continued. The journey is long and dangerous, but the reward is worth the risk.
Kofi and Nia looked at each other. They knew what they had to do. They would find this magical fruit.
Kofi and Nia prepared for their journey. They packed dried meat and fruit, filled gourds with fresh water, and Nia brought a slingshot for protection. Kofi took a map he had drawn of the savanna. They left before dawn, hearts pounding with excitement. The savanna stretched out before them, with tall grass swaying in the breeze and acacia trees dotting the landscape. In the distance, they saw a herd of zebras. The world seemed big and full of wonder. Kofi and Nia felt small but brave.
They walked all morning. The sun climbed high in the sky. It was hot, but they didn't mind. They sang songs and told stories, imagining the adventures that lay ahead. Every step took them further from home, but it also brought them closer to their goal.
By midday, they reached the foot of the hills. Badu had told them to look for a hidden path. Kofi spotted it behind a large boulder.
"Look, Nia," he cried, "this must be the way." They high-fived each other, then started up the rocky trail.
The path grew steeper. Rocks slid under their feet. Thorny bushes scratched their arms. But Kofi and Nia kept going. They helped each other over hard spots. They shared water when they were thirsty. Their friendship made them strong.
Suddenly they heard a low growl.
A hyena stepped out from behind a rock. Its eyes gleamed with hunger.
Nia grabbed her slingshot. Kofi picked up a stick. They stood back to back, ready to fight.
The hyena circled them, snarling.
Nia had an idea. She remembered a song her grandmother taught her. It was meant to calm angry spirits. She began to sing softly. The melody floated on the air.
To their surprise, the hyena stopped growling. It cocked its head, listening. Slowly, the hyena's fierce look faded. It turned and loped away.
Kofi and Nia hugged each other, relieved. They had faced danger and won. They felt braver than ever. With new confidence, they continued their journey up the hill.
As the sun began to set, Kofi and Nia reached the top of the hill. Before them lay a lush valley. In the center stood a massive tree. Its branches stretched to the sky. Golden fruit hung from its limbs. This had to be the place.
But then they saw movement in the shadows.
A large shape prowled around the tree. It was the Leopard King. His coat gleamed in the fading light. His eyes glowed like amber. Kofi and Nia felt fear in their hearts, but they knew they couldn't turn back now.
They crept closer, hiding behind rocks and bushes. The Leopard King was bigger than any cat they had ever seen. His muscles rippled under his spotted coat. He moved with grace and power. Kofi and Nia knew they couldn't beat him with strength.
As they watched, they noticed something. The Leopard King looked sad and lonely. He paced around the tree, sighing. Kofi and Nia looked at each other. Maybe there was another way to get the fruit. They would need to use their hearts, not their hands. Section 7. The Quest for Wisdom, Facing the Guardian.
Kofi took a deep breath. He stepped out from their hiding place.
Nia followed close behind.
The Leopard King turned to face them. His eyes narrowed, but he didn't attack. He seemed curious about these brave young humans.
Great Leopard King, we have come from far away. Our village needs help. We seek the wisdom of the magical fruit.
The Leopard King listened, his tail swishing slowly.
We mean no harm. We only want to help our people.
Many have come seeking the fruit, but they wanted it for themselves. You are the first to think of others. Tell me more about your village.
Kofi and Nia told him about Ndebele. They spoke of the droughts and poor harvests. They described how everyone worked together. The Leopard King listened carefully. His eyes softened as he heard their story. He began to see the goodness in their hearts. Section 8. The Magical Fruit, A Taste of Knowledge.
You have shown courage and compassion. You may take one fruit, but remember, with great wisdom comes great responsibility.
Kofi and Nia nodded solemnly. They understood the importance of this gift. The Leopard King reached up with his mighty paw. He plucked a golden fruit from the lowest branch. It glowed softly in the twilight. He placed it gently before the children. Kofi and Nia looked at each other. Then they each took a small bite. As they ate, warmth spread through their bodies. Their minds felt clear and bright. They began to understand things they never had before. They saw how all things were connected. They learned the importance of balance in nature. The wisdom of ages filled their young hearts.
Use this wisdom well. Help your people, but also protect the land, for we are all part of the great circle of life.
Kofi and Nia bowed their heads in thanks. They knew their lives had changed forever. Section 9. The Return Journey, Changed by Adventure. With the magical fruit safely wrapped in leaves, Kofi and Nia began their journey home. The Leopard King had shown them a shortcut through the valley. They walked with new confidence. The Savanna seemed different now. They noticed things they hadn't seen before. They saw how the ants worked together to build their hills. They understood why the elephants knocked down trees. Everything in nature had a purpose. Every creature played its part. Kofi and Nia felt connected to it all. They were no longer just observers. They were part of the great web of life.
They talked about what they had learned. They made plans for how to help their village. They would teach about conserving water. They would show new ways to grow crops. They would help everyone understand the balance of nature.
Their hearts were full of hope and purpose. The journey that had seemed so long before now passed quickly. Before they knew it, they saw the familiar hills of home. Ndebele lay just beyond. Kofi and Nia smiled at each other. They were eager to share their new wisdom. They knew that bright days lay ahead for their people. Section 10. Ndebele Transformed, Wisdom Shared. Kofi and Nia returned to a hero's welcome. The whole village gathered to hear their story. The elders listened with amazement. The children's eyes shone with excitement. Everyone was eager to learn from the magical fruit's wisdom. A new chapter began for Ndebele. Over the next months, many things changed.
Kofi showed the farmers how to save water.
Nia taught new ways to protect the crops from pests. They helped create a community garden. Everyone worked together, sharing the tasks.
The village began to thrive again, but the changes went beyond just farming. The people of Ndebele gained a deeper respect for nature. They learned to live in better harmony with the land. They protected the animals and plants around them. They understood that by caring for nature, they were caring for themselves. Kofi and Nia grew into respected leaders. but they never forgot their adventure. They often told the story of the Leopard King and the magical fruit. They reminded everyone of the importance of wisdom, courage, and friendship. And so Ndebele became known far and wide as a place of harmony and knowledge, a shining example for all to follow.